Hello, everyone. Today we are doing a bit of a repeat because we've already featured Takenoko on our channel, but we have since tracked down the collector's edition of Takenoko since Miranda liked this game so much. And we are here with a special guest, Maya. And before we get into any further, we're going to hit that subscribe button below to join along and the notification bell so you'll know when our videos are showing up. And Maya's going to do the exact same thing as soon as we're done. Matter of fact, should have had her just show them how to do it. That would have been awesome.
Right. So, Takenoko Collector's Edition. This came out in 2013 at Gen Con back then. Geek rating is 7.5. Designed by Antoine Bauza. Art by Nicholas Fructus, I believe, in Pixel Yao. Published by Bombix and Madigo. MSRP, since this is not in print, you basically have to go to third market. Saw it on Amazon for $2.99. And then Zatu, which is I believe in England, they got it for $198.69 US.
Wow. Okay. So as far as the quality of the components, I mean everything about this is upgraded. We got in the standard game you got little resin,
which they're really cool,
pandas,
but that's just way bigger.
But yeah, this is just beautiful. It's I think it's like I don't know, I wouldn't say porcelain, but
it's I think it's resin.
It is, but it's solid. I mean.
Right.
It's very heavy and it's beautifully painted. It's the same for this one.
Farmer.
Yeah, the farmer is a little lighter, but then again, it also it's not as solid, but it's beautifully painted. It's got different shadow and shades as you look at it. They're just beautiful. And I mean, you can I don't know if we can compare your cell phone here. We'll use your phone. Compare the size of this. I mean, they're large.
And in the regular retail version, they're quite small.
So, yeah. So I mean these and the wood pieces in the bamboo in this base game, they're not cut evenly, so sometimes they don't fit nicely. These are all super loose. I mean they fit in nicely. We had one problem where it got top heavy and tipped because some of the tiles. That's the one problem I saw with this is some of the tiles are a bit warped. Like this one doesn't sit evenly.
Yeah, but just probably because of moisture.
Yeah, but yeah, the other than that they fit nicely together. They don't, we had the one tippage that happened, but that was because we had the panda, a 4-stack of those tiles, and the farmer all sitting on the same space. And when we moved one, and it just, caved over.
Right.
You got a giant wood die. It's almost big.
Hard to roll.
Yeah, it's almost so big you almost hate it because especially on this hard table, it would make a loud bang whenever it would roll. So you almost have to have like some kind of a rolling box,
right?
Ideally, maybe like a crack table that you could just roll it on. That would be the best.
Just make sure you don't hit anybody with it.
Oh yeah, you might send someone to the hospital with that something.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the pieces are just great on this.
And it's just top of the level development in this version of the game. So good.
Yeah. If it weren't for the fact that the tiles are warping, then I would give this probably a 10.
And realistically, we don't know if it's that way when it was officially came out, or just because it's been sitting around since 2013. Maybe you didn't have good silica packets in there to where.
I don't think there was any silica packets when I got it
to absorb that moisture that could be in there. So
and inside the case, the wood case, which is solid wood, it's really heavy. They have foam inserts, and those were not glued well, or at least the glue dried up. So one of them came apart in there. So, and it could again because of time, but still, I'm gonna have to reglue that to keep it in place. So I'm gonna give it a 9. I think as far as my score on it, I think I would have given it a 10 if not for the curling issues with the tiles.
I'm not going to count against it for the curling just because it's since 2013. Maybe. I mean, if it's a negative, maybe they didn't package it well enough to prevent it from curling, and that would be the negative, I would think. But I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Looking at this, I really like it. I would give it a 10. My only advice is to play it on a larger table.
Yeah.
Even this table seemed too small. The tiles are the size of your hand. You just need a good area to play it.
Yeah. Oh, we did have fun. Christian with her husband who's not in the video obviously, was sitting at the end, and we were trying to cover his space up with the.
We almost did it.
Did a pretty good.
We did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah. So as far as moving on to theme, well, this is a very fun theme.
It really is.
You've got a panda bear and a farmer farmer's trying to grow the bamboo, panda bear's trying to eat the bamboo. We've already covered this in Takenoko, but it just feels bigger, with all the
For
pieces.
some reason, it feels bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have something to do with these pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be it.
But the art is beautiful. I mean, everything about this game's beautiful. You get the fun feeling. I mean, just when you get the rule book out, which we'll get to in the rule book in a minute, but it's got the big comic on the front. I love that. It just sets the mood for the game. I mean, this game is just so so beautiful art wise that it's a 10.
Yeah, it oozes the theme.
Mm-hmm.
So in everything you do mechanically, it fits with the theme as well, which is something that I always try and remark on if mechanics fit the theme or if the theme pushes the mechanics. And I think in both cases it does. So I agree. This is a 10.
Yes, and I'll agree with that. A 10. I enjoy the Japanese culture, and the pieces are just beautifully made.
Mm-hmm. So,
on rulebook,
now as far as the rule book, you've got a little bit backstory between this is at the Japanese imperial court a long time ago. After a long series of disputes, diplomatic relations between Japan and China are finally on the mend. In order to properly celebrate this alliance, the Chinese emperor gifted his Japanese counterpart a sacred animal, a giant panda bear, a symbol of peace. The Japanese emperor has entrusted his court members, the players, with the difficult task of caring for the animal by setting up his bamboo garden. Players will cultivate the land plots, irrigate them, and grow one of 3 species of bamboo, green, yellow, and pink, with the help of the imperial
is that a
gardener.
scientific name for them?
I think so.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just giving you a little flavor of of how the game's thematically set. You've got the nice big rule book compared to what's in the base game. It's much smaller. All of the font is still pretty small.
But the artwork is great.
Yeah, the art is great. It's sectioned nicely. It's really easy to read it. Apart from the font being so small, that's the only issue. It's got everything you need in it. You've got nice player boards that have, in essence, the cheat sheet built into them that you can recognize the iconography. I'm going to go ahead and give this, I think, a 8.5 as far as the rules go.
Sure.
All right. Moving on to gameplay. Now, we've already walked through the gameplay in the Takenoko video, so if you really want to see more of that, you can check that video. So we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but what I do want to is get Maya's impression on the game, because this is her first time playing, so I want to get feel for what is your thoughts on how the game played, and as far as what would you score it?
I enjoyed the game. I did feel as a beginner, there were a lot of rules. I kept going back to the game book to review the rules, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 9 based on, I just felt like the rules kind of, there was quite a few. There weren't enough of these irrigation tiles, so you have to build a river to get to the tiles, and that for me was difficult, but I enjoyed it overall.
So.
Cool.
Well, I guess you didn't give your impression last time. You were
I wasn't part of the original Takenoko, but I've always enjoyed the game. I think the big box or this collector's edition just accentuates everything that made the original fun, just up the level of it. So it's a lighter game if you didn't get the impression from the original video. It's not terribly, once you get the rules down, it's very easy to play, I think. It's pretty easy to teach. So I think I'd give it a 9 overall. It's a great introductory level, kind of not really. It's an action selection game, so it's a good game.
Yeah, it's going to attract attention. If you set this up in a public area, you are going to have people asking about it because it's. I mean, the small one you may not get as attention from. It's still pretty, but this version just knocks it out of the park, and you're going to have just people stopping and. Oh, wow, what is that you're doing?
That's pretty.
Mm-hmm. And they may ask you to leave if it's a public library and you're rolling this die. So
right.
They might... So, yeah, if you play games at a public library, I would not recommend this version.
Or have a better way to roll the die so you don't make any racket.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our impression of Takenoko Collector's Edition. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button once, not more than once, because you'll unsubscribe and that would defeat the purpose. All right, so until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Maya.